One Wall Street analyst says Apple's soon-to-be-released iPad 2 could burst a bubble in the tablet market. Mark Moskowitz of J.P. Morgan warned investors that Apple's rivals may be overestimating demand for their pads because the new iPad is just so far ahead of the game. So he sees an increasing risk of a bubble burst, his words, this year. Now, Moskowitz says tablet makers may have stuffed the market with 51% more tablets than anyone would want. Well, here to discuss the tablet battle is Gizmodo editor Joe Brown. Joe, is the iPad so good, the iPad 2, so good that everyone else should be worried?
It sounds like we're headed for a bubble.
A bubble?
I mean, it seems like
there's
anytime...
a Facebook bubble,
there's a real estate bubble. Anytime supply outpaces demand and some prices come down, we're headed for a bubble. I think what is going to happen is we're going to have a lot of products on the market this year. No doubt about it. Just like when Android came out to compete with Apple's operating system, a lot of makers jumped on this more open environment and said, yeah, we're going to make a phone too. We're going to come into this industry and make a smartphone. I think a lot of people are going to make tablets powered by Android's Honeycomb, and they probably won't be as good initially as Apple's is.
So, but looking at it the other way, is the iPad, you've seen the iPad 2, I think.
Yep.
I don't know if you've used one or not. I don't know if you can say if you used one. No, Apple's not allowed to let anyone talk about them until this evening if they've seen them. But is it really that good?
Well, the first thing you need to look at is not the hardware, it's the software, right? And Apple's iOS 4.3 is much improved. We're already getting reports from people saying that the web browsing experience is faster, and the processor on the inside is up to 2 times faster, they're saying. So the tablet is going to be fast. Is it going to be so much better than everybody else's? I don't know that it's actually going to be so much better than the original iPad necessarily. I think that we've got like 1 year of tablet usage under our belts. Like 1 year ago, people started using tablets in earnest everywhere. You started seeing them on airplanes, started seeing them in airports and at the dentist's office. I don't think it's enough data to say that demand is in one way or the other.
Buy bubble, Joe. Do you think we're going to see a huge excess supply of what J.P. Morgan is calling these iPad wannabes?
I think it's very possible we're going to see some really inexpensive tablets in outlet stores, and that's a good thing, I think. I mean, we're still exploring the possibility of using these new kinds of computers, and a year after the first major one hit the market, to see ourselves having this much supply is a good thing. I don't see it in a negative light, actually, at all.
So which manufacturers, then, are going to be hurt the most?
Well, you know, there have not been a ton of tablets announced yet, so I think it's a little bit of a jump to say that somebody's going to be hurt. You can look for HTC to jump into the market, definitely. Motorola is making a big push with their Zoom and their Atrix phone as well. So those people are going to be responding to Apple's market pressure, definitely.
What about price? Is price a place that, you know, if people come in with $300 tablets, can they do that, and would they do that, and would that actually drum up a new kind of demand, or is the tablet just a high-end device?
No, I think that's exactly right. There are going to be people coming in with lower-end tablets, and that's going to appeal to a lot of people. Remember that the iPad 2 starts at $500. That's a lot of money. Now, if you come in with a $300 tablet, I can see a lot of people being interested in that. It's the same thing that Android did with phones. You know, now we have free Android phones that you get with a subscription to a mobile carrier. I can see the same thing happening with tablets, and that'd be really cool.
But does it get to a point where Apple's created so much functionality? You know, the Kindle introduced the tablet, right? Now they don't call them e-readers, they're calling them tablets because Apple introduced so much more functionality. Are they having so much functionality in this thing that something else just doesn't compare?
Well, they certainly cleaned up in the smartphone market. For a company that has barely double-digit market share in computer usage, to see them dominating the smartphone market the way they are is really impressive. And you have to imagine that they have a lot of experience with touch operating systems and a really nice gestalt around them. You're going to see them really doing very well in the tablet market, but I think that Android's going to give them a really good run for it.
All right. Joe Brown from Gizmodo, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Emily?